What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy back with another one. People, in today's video, we want to discuss, so we want to talk about a certain thing, right? And this is going to cause a lot of contention. Trust me. We want to talk about whether or not white people can learn anything from black people. Let me know what you think about this topic in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know we family, right? Holler. People, 5 things that black people can teach white people, or 5 things that white people can learn from black people. Is that even a possibility? What can black people teach white people? Or is there anything remotely close of any interest from white people that black people can offer that can actually move the needle in a white person's life or in the white community, right? So let's start with the 5 obvious things. Okay, let's look at it from sector by sector and perspective to perspective, right? So let's start in the religious realm. African religion. Is there anything that white people could learn there? I don't think so. If there was, they would have done it, right? Number 2, let's look at economics. Is there anything white people can learn from black people economically? If there was, they would have done it, right? Okay. Let's look at it from a spiritual perspective. Anything we can learn, or anything white people can learn from us? Yeah, nothing. If there was, they would have done it. So, politically, is there anything white people can learn from us? Yeah, maybe here and there. But is it enough to move the needle? No, it's not. So, in essence, the things that white people can learn from us are things that are trivial to them, such as labor, hard work, obedience, adaptability, um, what else? Loyalty. Uh, what else? What else? Ease of communication, subservience. Um, what else? You see, the reason why I'm finding it difficult is because the things that we learn from white people, or the things that white people have either taught or imposed on us, are things that have moved the needle in our cultures and in our societies. Now, why am I? What do I mean by moving the needle? So let's take the same categories, right, that I just spoke about now, and let's now re let's put a twist on them, right? And let's put it towards, from a white person's perspective, teaching black people, right? Because remember, I said the video is about black people teaching white people, and somehow I cannot find anything of substance that white people can learn from black people. They can actually move the needle in white communities. Yes, a willing white person can learn things from a black person or black perspective, right? But as a community, like white people, like, is it worth it? Is it going to move the needle? Nah, I don't think so. For example, let's look at it like this, right? We all know that shifting the needle from a black perspective has come in the form of music, entertainment, pop culture, sports. Those things have totally moved to the black side, right? And in that case, blacks have dominated the case. So in the entertainment, in sport, it's black people. There we have totally moved the needle. So the white people in those spaces have no choice but to move with us, right? In the spaces where, well, other than that, other than entertainment, sports, pop culture, I don't see any other sphere where we as Black people move the needle, right? So, religious. Most Black people are either now Christian, Jewish, some westernized religion, right? Although there is a good number that still practice African religion, right? Let's look in the realm of politics. So we basically are Democrats, democratic people, democracy, some socialists, some this, some all Western influences. We do not have African politics. It's it's either East or Western philosophy that's you know involved in African politics. Like I said, religion, it's a Western concept now. That's more favorable. Politics, it's a Western way of doing things. What else? Work environment, employment. We do things in a Western way. There's no African way of doing business now. It's outdated, and even if there is, it's on the black market. It's on the fringes of the working and employment world. You know what I mean? So, what can white people really learn from black people? Like I'm saying, other than the basic hard work, frivolous things that are just meant to be in people. So it's almost like white people don't need it. It's like Urania is proving that in the beginning, white people depended on black labor, and that's why they needed slaves, right? That's what we're good for. Yes, we have brilliant, because now people are going to say, oh, but we invented the light bulb, we invented the this, we invented that. Oh, did you know that space? We invented that. We invented a spear. We invented an idea, which is good, by the way. Must take credit for that. You invented cornflakes. You invented toothpaste. You invented hell. You invented everything as black people. Let's just give black people credit for everything, right? Okay, let's just take it there. Black people invented everything. So we're taking credit for the invention. Cool. Can you produce the stuff? No. Okay. Ideas are good because products, services are born from ideas. But can you produce the goods, take them to market, produce them on a commercial scale? No. Okay. Black people are good in music, yes. Before the advent of the internet, black people could sing, dance, and do everything. But did we have the means of recording the stuff? Did we have the means of distributing the music worldwide at that? We didn't. Okay. Black people are good at entertainment, for sure. We invented the television that it could be televised. We invented the whole concept of businesses behind. We invented the concept of money that you could monetize and grow rich from these inventions. So it's all good and well that we created this thing. But do we have the business acumen to mass produce this thing, to export this thing, to create these global connections around the world? No. Okay. So, like I said, in the beginning, white people needed slaves. But places like Orania, places like, I think, Israel, places like parts of America, where they don't even want black people, you know, are proving that we don't want slaves anymore. We want to do things on our own. So, therefore, we do not need black people, right? So, by them doing that, it just proves that they do not need black people for anything. and therefore they do not need to even learn a black language. Of what benefit is it going to be to them to learn a black language? I mean, you do see, and you do know of white English speaking people who will learn German, they'll learn French, they'll learn Spanish. Why? But you won't find them. "Well, I want to learn Zulu, I want to learn Xhosa, I want to learn Tswana." Those that are interested actually do make the effort, and they actually do they learn the language, right? But the majority, no, no, no. Why? No use for it. I mean, I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly around the world. I'm gonna do a whole gap year in Europe. Ain't nobody speaking Zulu over there. All right. I'm gonna learn French. I'm gonna learn Spanish. I'm gonna learn German. Cool. I'm gonna fly all over the world. And that's a person coming from America, by the way, right? I'm gonna fly all over the world, and and somewhere somehow I'm going to use one of those three languages. See what I mean? You ever open an advert? Well, open a newspaper, and you see an advert, and it says there, German speaking person needed, Spanish speaking person needed, once in a while, a closer person needed, Zulu speaking person needed. But the majority of the time, it's a foreign language person needed. Why? So, are we as a people slowly but surely being phased out of the working space, being phased out of the living space? Because with the introduction of AI, the introduction of places like Orania, places of where cultural preservation is now becoming a lifestyle choice, is there going to be a need for black and or colored people? Is there? So here's the question. Is there anything that black people and or colored people can teach white people? And is there anything of value that white people are willing to learn from black people other than cooking pap, speaking Zulu, Xhosa, Tswana, Venda, Ndebele, Shona, Swahili, you name any Igbo, Yoruba languages, things that can move the needle, that can affect their lifestyles? If there was, there would, but there's nothing. You see, truth of the matter is, most white people are not willing to learn black things or a black way of life because they're not gonna they don't subscribe to that. That type of lifestyle has no bearing on their lifestyle because it's not going to be imposed on them. They don't see any willingness to learn it, so therefore it's null and void. Whereas you, as a black person, you have no choice but to adapt to the Western and European way of life. Do you get what I mean? So, is there anything concrete that we can offer them? Plain and simple, the answer is no. Nothing of substance, nothing that can move the needle in their eyes. There is nothing we can offer them that they are willing to learn that can change their lives for the better. But there are certain things, like I said, however frivolous they may be, right? But it's something that they can actually look at as people, right? It may not be in their nature because that's not how they were either raised or that's not how their cultures uh, collide or that's not how their cultures intertwine. But for lack of a better word, right? These are the few small, minute things that they take for granted that they don't see any relevance in because according to their lifestyle, that's frivolous stuff. But to us, these are things of massive importance. So, what are the 5 things? Okay, let me be honest. What are the 5 frivolous, useless things that white people can learn from us, colored or black people? Number 1, they can learn Ubuntu. They do kind of have Ubuntu in their own way, which is social responsibility. It's not exactly the same thing, but it kind of like is in their way. You know what I mean? Number two, white people are not family, community orientated as colored and black people are in a way. Because one, you go to white areas, they don't really neighbors don't really talk to each other unless they know each other. Because they've got everything. So they don't need anything from the next neighbor. Whereas in colored and black communities, well, you kind of got to really know your neighbor because you might get stuck and you honestly, obviously, there too, you're going to need something from the neighbor and you really get to know your neighbors. And it just makes common sense in the black and colored communities because we are not that well off in the black and colored communities. So we really have to get to know our neighbors. Whereas in the white communities, the neighbor across the road doesn't even know the neighbor across the road. They don't see each other. They get into their car. They just whisk away. They just whisk away. They don't need any. They don't borrow electricity from each other. They don't borrow sugar from each other. They don't even know what an egg is. That's why they don't need to know the neighbor at all. While in the black and colored communities, you're going to run out of oil. You're going to run out of electricity. You're going to run out of something. And guess who? The neighbor comes into help. So, no sense of community. And that is a big thing. No sense of Ubuntu. Corporate responsibility, social responsibility. It's not the same thing, but you could learn those two things. Number three, you could learn a traditional language. You could learn a traditional dish as well. Righto. Why? See, versatility is a thing, right? We know you know all the white things. You don't need to know anything else other than your white things because you live in a white world. You don't ever venture into a black world. We know all that. That is what we're saying. These are five frivolous things that you as a white person could learn, right? So imagine you could converse to a black person in his language. Not only are you speaking to his heart, you are speaking to him in his home language, which will make him appreciate you more and see you in a different light. Now, when as an Afrikaans person, I have to use the word, I have to use the Afrikaners because, man, they get the hardest, they get the worst, they get the most difficult, they get the worst of the worst when it comes to bashing of white people, right? People forget that there's English people, Portuguese, French, Italians, and other. As long as you're white, you're Afrikaans. That's the way they look at it. Any person that, when an English person does anything racist, oh, it's an Afrikaans person. First thing comes to mind because why? Because of apartheid, right? Sadly, but true. So in that regard, all white people are placed into this one basket. Which is unfair, right? Now, check this out. So, if you learned to speak Zulu, for example, and you're in Durban or Johannesburg, where there's predominantly Zulu, those two cities, right? Or in, let's say in Cape Town, you speak Xhosa, right? Then you have a problem. You call him and you speak to him in his mother tongue. Did you know that speaking to someone in their mother tongue hits differently than when you're speaking to them or to that person in a foreign tongue or in your tongue? You get what I mean? I've seen how language, just language, can open doors, open minds, open hearts to people who are closed off simply due to assumption that so and so is racist. Or they assume that just by the color of your skin, you don't speak this language, or by the way you look, that you're not interested in learning our language. Right? Truth of the matter is, Mandela said it best. When you learn a foreign language, or not even a foreign, just a third language, a fourth language, no matter what language it is, black language, colored, black language, white language, Western language, Eastern language, African language, not only are you educating yourself, upskilling yourself, but you are also bettering yourself so that one day, it may not be now, maybe time in the future, that language that you saw as a low down dirty language can now help you and assist you in a time that you never thought you needed most. And that's simply true, man. You know? So like I'm saying, Those are the frivolous things that you could learn. Another big thing, African people and colored people, we do not know what old age homes are. But white people, they swear by that. And in our culture, well, black and colored people, we we find it difficult to take our old people to a old age home. I mean, how would you? Okay, I do. When white people take the aged, elderly to an old age home, what what exactly is going through your mind? I mean, surely everybody's got family, unless that elderly person has no family left. Then I can understand. But if you're an elderly person and you still have family that's living and working, surely a family can hustle together to try and find, even if that elderly person is going to sleep on the floor in your house, as long as it's in the family. As colored people and black people, that's something foreign to us. We do not, man, that is tough. That is a bitter pill to swallow. Homeless shelters, I can understand because you're helping the poor, you're helping the needy, you're helping the homeless, you're helping the that I totally get. But old age where there's still family living and you got your mother, your grandmother in an old age home. Damn, man. Damn. Damn. I'm speechless on that one. White people, you need to learn that it's not a good practice, especially if you still have family members who are alive and working and can assist. Because I don't know how much fees you pay at an old age home, right? But I'm pretty sure that if you have a house and you can hire a maid on a daily basis, you could hire someone to look after your old age person at your house, even though you're going to work, there'll be no one home. You can hire someone to look after your old age granny. Surely, than sending the granny off to an old age home. That's a sad thing. Those are the four, is it four, five frivolous things that white people could actually learn from colored or black people. Yes, I'm using the word frivolous because I've really thought about it. From a manufacturing point of view, black people have nothing to offer. Yes, we come with ideas. Yes, we can give an idea. Yes, we can do that. But we are not going to mass produce. We don't have the capabilities. We don't have the capacity. When it comes to farming, we do not have the capabilities or the capacity to produce on a commercial level. Yes, we've been doing subsistence farming since the days of farming ever started. But that, as the world has progressed, has produced nothing of substance for a nation. It's good for a village, it's good for a community, but it's not sustainable for the entire country. That's not functional point. So, from a political point of view, we have nothing to offer. From a manufacturing point of view, we have nothing to offer. From a spiritual point of view, we have nothing to offer. From an economical point, we have nothing to offer. From a military point of view, we have nothing to offer. And that is the main reason why, as black people, we will always depend on the white people because they bring capacity, they bring capabilities, they bring everything on a massive scale that can sustain an entire nation. And we still need to get to that level. And that is the reason why I say in this video, there is nothing that we as black and colored people can offer white people, anything of substance that can move the needle for them to jump ship to come into our world, except in the realm of sports and entertainment. Other than that, slowly but surely, we are going to become good for nothing people in the world of white people. And that is why they are slowly but surely replacing us with computers and robots. So, to all my black and colored people out there, start creating your own ecosystems where you do not have to depend on white people for your survival and for your sustenance. It's time to do what you need to do to survive and thrive on your own. Let me know what you think about this video. Was I on the money or did I totally miss it with this one? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know we family. Holla.